Hello, YouTube listeners. This is Mr. Shining Time. Just want to thank all of you for coming to listen to my video today. Somebody said, Mr. Shining Time, why are you anti-Christian? Why are you so against Christianity and religion? If you don't believe, why don't you just go about your daily life and forget about it? My answer to that is, I'm anti-Christian because Christianity is white supremacy in disguise. It is European supremacy in disguise. It's Eurocentrism in disguise. Where is the head of the Christian church? It's in Rome, in Italy. Where did most of the important events in Christianity take place? In Italy, in Europe. All the reformations to Christianity, the Protestant Reformation started in Europe. The Catholic Church centered in Europe. Christianity tells you, and it tells black people, that we should be dependent upon some Jew who died 2,000 years ago to save us from our problems, to solve our problems for us, to rescue us from the social ills that we suffer. Don't go out and try to clean up the streets yourself. Let's just pray on it. Don't get involved in government. Let's just pray on it. Don't go to the library and open a fucking book and educate yourself about the way the world operates. Let's just pray on it. Prayer does absolutely nothing. It does nothing. One person working is worth more than 1,000 people praying. All right? Prayer is meaningless. I'm anti-Christian from a practical standpoint because sitting in a church all day with your hands clasped, praying to some dead guy, gets nothing accomplished. It gets nothing accomplished. And furthermore, it locks you into this cycle of believing that somehow some magical being is going to come down from wherever and save you from your problems. If I were to take you and strip you naked and lock you in a room with nothing more than 4 walls, a ceiling, and a floor, and gave you a Bible, nothing but a Bible, I didn't feed you, I didn't give you anything to drink, and I told you, pray to your God that he may come down here and save you and rescue you, you would die of starvation or thirst before your God gave you anything to eat. You would eat that Bible before God in heaven materialized any food for you to consume. Your God in heaven would watch you slowly wither away and die before he came down and gave you any assistance. What power does your religion have? None. It only has the power that people give to it. You can cry out and pray to God all you want. It's not going to accomplish anything. Black people aren't where we are today because we prayed on it. Because people sat around and prayed. No, people did. People got up and they did things. They didn't wait on God to come down and say and rescue anybody. Jesus Christ didn't lead an army to rescue the black slaves. God never came down and set up the Underground Railroad. It was people who decided something had to be done, and they got up and they did it. And that's why I'm anti-Christian. I mean, you've got people who go hysterical about end of days prophecies, end time prophecies. Classic example, a few months ago during the summer, Harold Camping comes out with a prophecy saying that the world will end. And like idiots, thousands of Christians give him money believing that the world is really gonna end. Of course it doesn't. Do those people lose faith? Nope. They just keep on going and believing. But the worst part is that even more Christians believe that the world is somehow just gonna magically end within the very near future. That God is gonna, or Jesus is gonna come from outer space or wherever and just materialize in the atmosphere and swoop all the Christians up into heaven. If you know, I read this thing where, the Bible, they say the Bible is like a software agreement. No one actually reads it. They just scroll down to the bottom and click I agree. And that's exactly what Christians are like. They don't actually read and analyze what's in the Bible. Because if you did read the Bible and analyze it critically, there's no way you could believe what is inside that book. All right? The creation account on the very first page is wrong. It's wrong according to what we know and observe in nature. Plants did not precede the sun. It didn't happen that way. Okay? How could the plants precede the source of energy that they need to survive? In what manner does that make any sense? The creation account is wrong. The Bible is wrong. The prophecies of Jesus were wrong. He said he would return within the lifetime of those people standing there before him, listening to him preach. It didn't happen. He never returned. All the writings of the early church patriarchs, such as Paul, indicated that they expected Jesus to return within their own lifetimes. It didn't happen. They died disappointed. Everyone who has ever lived, who spent their life waiting on Jesus to return, has died disappointed. You Christians out there today who live your life waiting on Jesus Christ, you will die disappointed. To think that when Jesus said he would return within the lifetimes of those people standing before him, that he actually meant thousands of years in the future is absolutely absurd. Jesus was wrong. He never came back. He's never coming back because he's dead. Everybody who's lived 2,000 years ago is dead. They're not coming back. Okay? That is another reason why I'm anti-Christian, because it forces you to believe things that are absurd, that there's no evidence or proof for. The story of Lazarus is utterly ridiculous. Never been observed in nature, ever. No proof has ever been provided to show that a man could reanimate a decaying human body back to life. That is utterly absurd. And that's why I am anti-Christian, because it locks black people into this cycle where they never want to analyze anything critically. From the very beginning, you're drilled into your head not to question, just accept. Not to question, just accept. My aunt posted on Facebook that God looks down from heaven with a broken heart. What does that mean? How can a divine, all-powerful being have a heart in any sense of the word that we would understand? That doesn't even make any sense. But when you try to explain this to people, they go, well, I have faith, you don't have faith, and that ends it. Wake up, people. We're advancing. The world is advancing. Humanity is advancing. Soon in the future, we will be able to travel to distant worlds, distant planets. And I believe that it is only a matter of time before we encounter some form of alien life, be it bacteria or some sort of complex, advanced intelligence like ourselves. But either way, I believe it is only a matter of time before we encounter some kind of life. And when we do, hopefully that will shatter your belief in some deity that exists that created the whole universe just for humanity. Maybe it won't. Maybe you'll keep on believing that your God is still going to come back to Earth. What happens when we establish permanent settlements on Mars? Is Jesus going to appear on 2 different planets at the same time? Maybe that's something you should think about. That's all I got to say. Question. I don't want to force my beliefs on anyone. Don't believe that God doesn't exist because I say that your God is absurd. My goal is for you to question. Ask questions. The questions are important. Don't go through life with blinders on. Always ask questions. Always ask why. That's all I gotta say. Thanks for listening.